Welcome on another journey of incredible chances to cruise around the world and around the corner. It's Cruise1st TV with Derek and Joe, ready to take you on some fun, homely cruises from around our own shores with the smaller cruise line with the bigger personality. It's Ambassador.
Wonderful. Smaller ship cruising to and from various ports around the UK and heading to the most charming of destinations, including the opportunity to cruise the whole world with Ambassador.
Yeah, absolutely you can. We've got 6 deals to squeeze into the show, and we've got the Fjords for July, we've got Spain, France and Portugal for next November, Iceland in May, and they're all no-fly, and we've got some cheeky onboard credit if you book with us here at Cruise1st today. Let's start by a look around one of her 2 ships then, shall we? The Ambience will be taking us from Tilbury in Essex on our first cruise around the Norwegian fjords next July for 7 nights. So let's go and have a little nosy around then, shall we? Yes, let's go and have a little look around, because I think actually, you know, if you're trying a new cruise line for the first time, and I say a new cruise line, they've been around a good few years now, but it's always good to have a little look. And I've kind of got a bit of extra inside gen here as well, actually, because one of my very, very good friends, in fact one of my life mentors, is a guest speaker on some of the Ambassador cruises. And so I said, right, okay, tell me really how it is, because, you know, I watch the videos and everything else, but how is it? He said, you know what, it's great. It's absolutely great. It's a lovely bunch of people on board. The crew are amazing. They're happy. They're not in your face. A very, very friendly team. There's lots of fun, random things that happen during the day as well. But it's not about all of the whizzy-bang thrills that are in cruising these days. This is more of a classic get-together, kind of sing-along, good old friendly cruise from here in the UK. And for the price you pay, I mean, the quality is exceptional.
And look at the spaces. They're kind of Art Deco inspired. It's just, they're beautiful spaces, aren't they? And you've got all your favourite, you've got your hot tubs, you've got your swimming pools, you've got the spa, of course, with tons of treatments on offer whilst you're on board. And that's the lovely thing to treat yourself to. The gift shop, you've got all your favourites, just a smaller scale, because it is much smaller, more intimate cruising. So think when you're enjoying your shows, they're going to be in a lounge as opposed to a massive big theatre. So you've got that more cabaret-like experience when you're enjoying the shows. Enjoying a glass of bubbles out on deck. There's nothing quite like it, seeing the Norwegian fjords in the background. Now, we're cruising out of Tilbury, which is very easy access from London, and a day at sea is going to see us into Haugesund, where you can see the statue of the founder of Norway. You can see lots of lovely little kind of back streets and gorgeous churches. The Norwegians are very friendly as well. It's a magical part of the world, and of course tons of scenic cruising too. Then we're into Ulvik next for the amazing waterfalls, and of course the fjords are going to be present in these ports. You can go and visit them alongside seeing them from the ship, so it's that, you know, in-person experience as well, which is mind-blowing. Then it's Flam for its gorgeous scenic railway, and just, you know, you are there in mid-July, so early July, which is perfect. So the lush greenery, the incredible hilltops, I mean, the backdrop is going to be unbelievable in these ports. Bergen next. This is my favourite port in Norway. It is utterly picturesque. Gorgeous coffee shops, lovely walkarounds, and those houses, the different coloured houses around, just make you want to take pictures around every turn. Amazing. Some of the things you're going to be seeing as you traverse the Norwegian fjords with kilometre-long, incredible streams and rivers, and the beautiful, imposing waterfalls that make this backdrop one of the most unforgettable places to cruise in the entire world, which is why it's so popular. And you'll just want to be up there on deck, taking in every moment for sure when you're cruising through this part of the world.
These are the cutest little places. They really are absolutely adorable. When you go to Flarm, by the way, on this itinerary, promise me, you'll book up one of the tours to take the railway.
Oh, yes.
You will never remember what's at the top of the railway for a reason halfway up. And I'm going to just say no more than that, because I never want to. If you've done it, if you know, you know. It's one of those, isn't it? Honestly, it's brilliant. You won't remember what's at the very, very top of the railway. I did a tour when I did my very, very first cruise up to the fjords, and did a tour where you take the railway up the valley via what happens in the middle, which I'm not telling you, and then at the top swap the train for a bike to do a wonderful bike tour back down to the port, which was lovely. And I say it was cycling, it wasn't at all healthy because it was all downhill, so it was basically, just rolling down and just being on a bike, enjoying the fresh air, which was absolutely lovely, and a nice little group. I think there were about 5 of us. It was just absolutely brilliant. And the fjords are just stunning. They really are, because you can just, if you paint, by the way, or you draw or sketch, you will love it, because there's inspiration coming at you literally around every corner. These fjords are beautiful. They are like these great big valleys that you are sailing through. And because you're on a ship, you've got that little slight higher vantage point. So you've got great views of what's happening. You're eye to eye with the scenery. You're going up there in July, which is a really good time to go up there. Weather should be around what it is in the UK in July. So take that as you will. You're going to have some good, some grey. That's the way it works up in that part of the world. But that doesn't matter. That doesn't spoil your enjoyment of the places that you're going to and the authentic experiences that you're having in these places. Now, team that with Ambassador, which is just brilliant. So when you go off and do your tours, I think when I did the Flarm Railway, I think it doesn't take long to go up and do that and then do the cycle down. I think we were back by kind of mid-afternoon, back in time for afternoon tea. Back time for a little cheeky siesta in the afternoon before you start doing the evening bits and pieces. It's such a lovely thing to do. It's a nice thing to do with friends as well, actually. If you like to go away on holiday with friends, and normally you go on a coach trip and you spend day after day after day actually on the coach. I'm going to and from. I'm not really seeing anything. I'm not really doing anything. And I'm sat in this seat, uncomfortable, thinking, is she ever going to be finished in that toilet? Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing you just don't need, where you could be on this cruise and have all the freedom to do what you want at a price tag which gives that coach trip a real run for its money. Because look, £589 per person. I've been on those coaches. I've heard those people muttering, is she ever going to be finished in that toilet? It's just stuff that you don't need to be thinking about. You can be having the most incredible cruise where it's very, very relaxing. You're meeting new people. So you're getting a change of scenery. You're getting a change of people as well, which is lovely. You've got fantastic restaurants, great entertainment of the evening. You're never left to your own devices thinking, well, it's 3 hours to dinner. What the heck are we going to do with this 3 hours? Do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. You can put a lower deposit down on this as well. And as a cheeky little extra from us, up to £200 per cabin onboard credit with us as well, which is superb. That depends on which grade of cabin you go for. There are longer durations available also in June and August next year, which you can talk to our team about. But let's concentrate on this for the moment and have a look at those upgrades, because of course the more upgrading you do on this, closer to that £200 onboard credit comes back your way. And you're thinking, right, okay, onboard credit, what can I use that for? Drinks, of course. You can book a drinks package with our team when you call, by the way. No problem whatsoever. We can sort that out for you. But you can also use that onboard credit for things like shore excursions and spa treatments and, other little treats for yourself as well, which is lovely. If you want to know anything else, just call the team 0800 953 4700. If you want to know anything else more about Ambassador and the ships and the accommodation, you can pop these TV references straight into our website, and you've got lots and lots of information there as well. But of course, you ever need to ask a question, you've got the phone number, of course, which you can call 7 days a week.
Yeah, exactly. Well, what an adventure. And of course, we'll be there during the midnight sun, right? We're in the middle of summer, so that's a lovely experience as well.
That is
Doesn't
nice,
get
actually.
dark. Yeah.
1 o'clock in the morning, if you're brave enough, you can be up on the top deck and you'll be looking up at the sky thinking, hang on a second, I'm sure it's 1 o'clock in the morning, and one, it's not dark, and two, like there's this, it's still sunset. And
it's weird because you don't get tired. You don't get as tired. I can't explain it, but you have to experience it for yourself.
Yes, you need to go and do it.
Well, let's stay on Ambience for our next cruise for next November. And it's a longer one too. 12 nights, again from Tilbury, and we're off to Spain, France and Portugal. Brilliant time to get away. Also, you're more or less expected some lovely sunshine at that time of year as you cruise the Med. Charming to visit places like Lisbon as well. Any time of year they're great because capital city. But let's just remind you about the unique aspects of cruising Ambassador. It's different really from anything else we bring you. It's much more low-key, relaxed boutique cruising, but as we've just referenced, the prices are sensational. I mean, you won't get that for smaller ships often. You know, it's usually a much higher luxury price. Yeah,
and actually, don't be misled by the prices as well, because, you know, sometimes you'll look at the price of a cruise and you'll say, actually, I know for that price, you know, that there are corners cut in some way. This must be a budget offering. The Ambassador call themselves premium economy, and I completely get what they mean by that.
I love
because
that. Yeah.
The price you pay is fantastic, and it is there for you because this is the initial few years of them forming. So the price is there to say, hey, come and try us out. Come and see for yourself just how relaxing and just how much is included in your price. So, you know, a lot of your dining included, you know, the full nightly dinner shebang included, big buffet choices for breakfast and for lunch as well. You have got other specialty dining in there, but your pools and your lounges and your entertainment and the activities that go on, you're not dipping into your pocket for them every 5 minutes. Okay, well, you know, this is going to be £5.50 for this if you want it. You know, like you're not going to be doing that all the time, which again is something that kind of niggles away at us. There's so much included on these cruises. Here's where we're off to then. Yeah, first up, we're into light shows in fabulous Portugal, where you can enjoy learning about the port wine, of course, which is actually stored in cellars underneath many Portuguese cities. You can go on a wine tour. You can enjoy the Palácio de Bossa as well. Then we're into the capital of Portugal, Lisbon, for its iconic wooden trams and its charming streets. It's beautiful food, it's friendly locals. Head to the Lisbon Oceanarium, that's really interesting as well whilst you're there. Next up, it's Gijon in Spain. Now, we're up in the north here, and Galicia is such a lush green region. I actually love visiting in sort of winter time up into the north of Spain, so I just think it has this utter charm to it. You've got the Cider Trail to visit, then we're into Bilbao for its unbelievable Guggenheim. You've got to go and see that, the Frank Getty Museum. You've got the old streets as well, where you can take in some pinchos and tapas, absolutely delicious, very charming indeed. Brest in France awaits us next, which has got a lovely medieval old centre that you can visit, including the castle. You've got the Tangled Tower whilst you're there too. It's just lovely to be in France anyway, isn't it, with the great food and wine. Next up, we're into Honfleur, which is the port for Paris, so you can just take a nice easy day trip to Paris and see all the sights from the Champs-Élysées through to the Eiffel Tower, and indeed, of course, the Seine. Maybe take a cruise of the Seine whilst you're there. We're back into Tilbury, where we'll disembark. It's very easy access to London from Tilbury. Not many ships go out of Tilbury, so perfect. But look at this itinerary. Any time of year, this is going to be a great sort of culturally rich itinerary, but I think particularly in November, it'll be a wonderful chance to get away. Yeah, very much so. Nice and poignant as well to go over to Paris as well and go and cruise the Seine. Of course, you know, lots have changed there, and you know the recent Olympic action that's been going on there as well, which is again, it's nice to kind of be there. All these things that you're seeing on the TV, it's nice to actually go there and be there. And again, let's just translate this for a second into a coach holiday. You could never do the areas that we are doing here across Portugal, Spain and France. We could never do that via coach over 12 nights. And if there was any possibility that we absolutely could in any way, shape or form, how many days of that would you literally be looking out the window, waiting? We're nearly there, just through this traffic jam, just down this toll road, just round the corner. No. With this, you're visiting all of these different places and you're sailing between them with lots of activities to do and freedom to go to bed when you want to, like having a siesta at 2 o'clock in the afternoon for a couple of hours. That's my idea of magic. So 12 nights, Portugal, Spain and France, cruising to and from Tilbury with Ambassador for next November. Low deposit today and a price tag again, which gives the equivalent holiday by road a real run for its money. In fact, you know, even considering if you were driving to these places, even getting your own car and driving to all of these places, by the time you've done the doodah where you drive through or do the train thing with your car and then do all the toll roads in France and, you know, this, that and the other, plus the price of diesel, even over on the continent, you know what, you're going to spend that in a heartbeat. And actually, what's more enjoyable, having somebody else take you there, sail you there, or doing all the hard work yourself? Exactly. Also, some onboard credit coming your way, up to £200 onboard credit per cabin on this one. Let's look at the upgrade prices, of course. The more you upgrade, the closer to that £200 onboard credit, of course, is coming your way. If you want to know the exact number again, just talk to our team. 0800 953 4700. I think that's really good as a deal. Again, breadth of journey. You know, imagine if you were starting off in Tilbury and you were going by car. So you'd have to do Tilbury all the way down to Folkestone, or could you get a ferry from Tilbury over to the continent to then get yourself to Portugal and then Spain? Oh no, hard work, hard work, absolutely. Let's do it on a cruise. It's a lot easier. It's a lot more fun as well. Great family cruising, great couples cruising. You know, we've got solo prices there for you as well. They always do a good deal on solo prices with Ambassador too. Very, very good indeed. Now, we've still got some quick picks on the way for you, including a cheeky Easter cruise for next year. But first, let's have a look on board the other Ambassador ship, the Ambition. And in May, she'll be cruising to and from Liverpool on a fascinating Iceland itinerary. So let's go and have a nosy around on board. These ships are just so charming and so lovely.
Yeah, I mean, there's a firm focus on fine food, lots of entertainment and enrichment, fantastic service, and a lot of variety, as you'll see in this next itinerary when it comes to destinations as well, really off the beaten track destinations. Now, you'll also have during the day guest lectures. You'll have question time with the captain. They always offer, by the way, these ships let's say backstage tour, but behind the scenes tours, which you can book, which is an additional fee, but it just allows you to learn how everything is put together on the ship. I always find that fascinating. Very comfortable seating in the theatre and just your chance to really, in the evening, sit back and enjoy a spot of entertainment, which, by the way, is on offer throughout the day. Tons of activities on offer as well. You've got live cabaret, game shows.
I was just thinking as well, I was just had a quick look at the title and I was thinking, right, Iceland. So I'm thinking, right, Iceland in May, what am I going to wear from that? And then I just suddenly thought, actually, it doesn't matter. We're going to and from the UK, it doesn't matter. You can take what you like. You can take the light jacket, you can take the medium jacket, you can take the very heavy jacket, you can take the polar jacket.
Yeah.
You can take the hat, you know, the hats of all denominations with you. You can do as much shopping around your trip as you like as well. Mm-hmm. Fill up another case full of just goodies and souvenirs and presents and shopping as you're doing your cruise. Because you're cruising back into Liverpool.
You might come back with a lovely big Viking hat to adorn your wall at home, or a moose head or something like that. Like, not a real moose head, but
No.
you know, like a toy moose head.
Yes.
They sell over there. All of that fun stuff. Anyway, I'm sure you'll find lots of great purchases, and they have an onboard gift shop as well, of course, for you. So let's check out where we are heading to in the land of fire and ice. Now we're cruising out of Liverpool, which is really easy to reach, and we're heading into Runevik in the Faroe Islands, part of Denmark first. We never see this on itineraries. How exciting. Really historical, and history tells us that the King of Denmark and Vikings used this harbour. Incredible. Then we're into another port in Faroes, Klaksvik, which was the first settlement back in Viking times. So we're talking about thousands of years of history here. Make sure you head up to Mount Klakur for amazing views over the port. Next up, we have an overnight in the capital of Iceland, Reykjavik. You must head to the Blue Lagoon and do it at night as well, because we're there overnight and you can stargaze. Oh, well, I say stargaze actually. We may. Yeah, you should still get a little bit of darkness. It's not going to be completely 24-hour sun just yet, but that is an amazing experience. Very volcanic. Fjords awaits us next, and this is known for its dramatic landscapes because Iceland is very geothermal. So craters and lagoons and geysers and glaciers, you name it. It's amazing. Next up, we're into Akureyri, where you can visit Godafoss and you can see the beautiful waterfall up there. Perhaps the old farmhouse at Lufus and the Aviation Museum are worth a visit as well, and great horse riding, but indeed you can see whale watching if you like to be out in the ocean. Next up, we're into Seyðisfjörður, and this is of course known for its fjord, hence it's in the title. You've got the lovely waterfall there of Hengelfloss, but you can also see some gorgeous natural wildlife if you go bird watching, and book a tour to do that as well. So this is the kind of thing you're going to be seeing as you go into some of the most exciting landscapes in all the world in Iceland, from glaciers to waterfalls to fjords to natural thermal hot springs, geysers and lagoons, and geothermal wonders and landscapes that have attracted Hollywood directors for many, many decades, because they use this to film everything from the Game of Thrones through to a ton of movies, like Oblivion's been filmed over there, just to name a few. They use it as a lunar landscape a lot as well in movies. It's just sweeping, iconic. You're looking at Viking history, land of fire and ice. I mean, think of all the incredible ships that have sailed these oceans as well, the Viking vessels looking for the new world. I think it's just amazing.
Oh, yeah.
That you get to visit this part of the world.
Yeah, truly beautiful. And actually, you know, if you're going up Reykjavik way and of course going up towards the Blue Lagoon, that, as we know, this year has been very lively, hasn't it, with the geothermal activity, the volcanic activity in the last 12 months. So, you know, you never know. Every trip up to Iceland at the moment is completely unique and individual. You can actually, you know, there are places where the lava is flowing as we speak, which makes it even more exciting. Of course, to and from Liverpool, this one as well, for 12 nights, which is lovely. It's nice to be able to sail in and out of Liverpool. You know, I live in North Yorkshire, so actually it's a lot easier for me to just trans-Pennine down the M62, and then I'm in Liverpool, the other end. Brilliant. That is a much shorter drive for me if you're up in the northwest, the northeast, up in the lakes, even up in Scotland actually. Sailing out of Liverpool, very, very easy indeed. So you're sailing up to Iceland with your overnight in Reykjavik, and through the Faroe Islands as well with Ambassador. Low deposit today and up to £200 per cabin onboard credit coming back your way as well. A brilliant price tag, very, very tempting price tag indeed. You can put a lower deposit down on that today, and there are actually cruises with longer durations available in this part of the world in May and July next year, which you can look up on our website by all means at cruise1st.tv or talk to the team. But I think, you know, 12 nights, perfect, isn't it, in and out of Liverpool. Let's look at your upgrades, of course. The more you upgrade, the closer to that £200 onboard credit coming back your way, of course. I just think this would be lovely. I mean, if you've not been to this part of the world before, lots of people still haven't. It's a very popular part of the world, but often you nip in and you nip out. But this gives you a real intense look at some of the ports in Iceland, and those Faroe Island ports, Joe. You're right. We don't see them on other itineraries, and they may be the tiniest little islands but what they have to offer in terms of just charm, authenticity and lovely experiences are well worth doing as part of your holiday travels. So if you're ready for that one, call us now, 0800 953 4700. And I did say that we had lots and lots to fit into this show. So the next three offers I'm showing you are quick picks from Ambassador, and some more for next year, and one even in 2026. So first, let's go for the Easter one for next year then, shall we? AMB 151, an Easter getaway for 7 nights, goes on the 17th of April from Tilbury, goes to France, the Isles of Scilly, and Corkin Island. I always forget where the Isles of Scilly are. They're sort of down Cornwall way, so they're just off the coast there, aren't they? And then you go over to Corkin Island. That one's from just $549 per person, which is brilliant. Again, some onboard credit coming back your way on that if you book now with Cruise1st. Then the one in the middle, AMB 149, that's a week on Ambience on the 27th of March. This is 2026 now, sailing to Bremerhaven in Germany, which doesn't get seen on many itineraries at all. Amsterdam and Rotterdam in Holland, and the port for Bruges in Belgium, again to and from Tilbury, from $549 per person. Is that right for a 7-night cruise? That's brilliant. It's a lot of travel there, and some onboard credit coming back your way on that one too. And then the third one, AMB 150, 11 nights of Nordic city escapes, cruising on the 13th of February in and out of Tilbury. That is going to Skagen in Denmark. You've got an overnight in Sweden, in Stockholm, in the capital of Sweden. You go to Riga in Latvia, Klaipeda in Lithuania, and Copenhagen in Denmark. To and from Tilbury from $859, and again special offers on those left, right and centre. Talk to the team right now on 0800 953 4700. That's funny, isn't it? You went through all of those places in Iceland, all of those weird names with not a trip. I couldn't get through Klaipeda in Lithuania. But there you go.
We're all allowed one per show. That's okay.
That's very, very true. I mean, whenever you go to the Norwegian fjords, or you go, you know, up to Iceland or places like that. I mean, most of the places, when you get back, people will say to you, "Where did you go?" Lots of places I couldn't pronounce ever again.
That's part of the fun, though.
Yes, it is. Let somebody else say it. The captains are always really good. They're really hot on the pronunciations of these places.
Yes, sometimes. Yeah. But also, you know, you might have gone to a lecture to learn about the history of the Vikings, and you might they might teach you a funny little trick on how to pronounce it. That's some of the fun things you can pick up whilst you're on board.
Yeah.
And I just think it'll be fascinating learning about that.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Absolutely. So listen, if you're looking for an alternative to that kind of traditional coach holiday that are very popular here in the UK, or maybe, you know, you need to show this show to friends or family, you can watch it on YouTube as well, of course. All our shows are there. Then the Ambassador Cruises are absolutely, they are the box ticker to get you a really full day and a really interesting holiday as well. Talk to our team and they'll help you out even more. We'll be back very soon with even more ideas.